Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shuka Bidarian, and it is my great pleasure and on behalf of the Climate Reality Project European branch to welcome all of you to today's event. I am one of the 3,800 European members of the network who are all on a mission to catalyze solutions to the climate crisis by making urgent action a necessity across every level of society and economy. This event was organized by a committed, business-minded group of volunteers who are members of our branch's Paris Agreement Compatible Business Interest Group. Let me thank all of them for their amazing dedication and commitment in putting this event together. I would like to extend my warmest welcome and gratitude to our upcoming speakers who volunteered to be on the stage with us today, and also each of you for attending our event. The goal of today's event and the future events planned throughout the year is to create an open space for dialogue with business organizations on the role and responsibility in reaching emissions limits in line with the Paris Agreement. With this premise, we will be looking at how to support the just transition, showcasing existing initiatives and best practice scenarios, providing a breakdown of the EU legislative landscape and expected regulatory changes, as well as understanding how stakeholders and climate reality leaders can assist in developing holistic strategies for the business community to use in advancing their climate objectives. We'd like to start off today's event with a few words from the founder and CEO of the Climate Reality Project, former US Vice President Al Gore. Although not able to attend in person, here is a short video from Mr. Gore on the important role businesses play in tackling the climate crisis.
Hello, I'm Al Gore, the founder and chairman of the Climate Reality Project. Thank you for joining the Business Fit for 1.5 Degrees event, which is graciously hosted by a dedicated group of volunteers and staff from the European branch of the Climate Reality Project. I want to thank the team that put this event together, as well as extend my thanks to the wide variety of European change makers who are sharing their wisdom as speakers during today's event. Allow me to briefly introduce the Climate Reality Project to those of you who may not be familiar with it. Our team at Climate Reality is on a mission to catalyze global solutions to the climate crisis by empowering people across every sector of society to become effective climate champions. By growing the grassroots movement for climate action around the world, we believe that we can help change the world for the better by working to prevent the most catastrophic impacts of the climate crisis and to do so in time. So you perhaps won't be surprised when I tell you that I'm here today to recruit you. We've seen important progress from political leaders who are developing policies that move the clean energy transition forward, but the private sector has an equally important role to play. Indeed, the climate crisis will have an impact on every aspect of our lives, our jobs, our businesses, and every organization that we belong to. It is a crisis that must be met with a scale and scope of responses equal to the challenge that this crisis presents. That means that all of us must strive to foster the transition to a clean energy future in every area of our work and our lives. And we must move quickly. This is the most important decade of action in our lifetimes. As many of you already know, the European Union has set a target to reduce emissions 55% by 2030. That means that across every industry and sector of the European economy, businesses must quickly begin their shift toward sustainability. This transition can certainly seem like a daunting task, especially in carbon-intensive industries. But what gives me hope for this transition is that we already have the solutions we need to reduce emissions quickly and dramatically. And not only do we have the solutions, we know that deploying those solutions will ultimately benefit businesses, their employees, their communities, and the planet. The shift toward a cleaner, more sustainable future, the sustainability revolution, is happening at the scale of the Industrial Revolution and the speed of the digital revolution. Energy markets are being transformed at a staggering pace, and innovation is happening across every sector of the economy. Businesses are rethinking transportation. Innovation in the agricultural sector is poised to play a significant role in reducing emissions. Advances in materials science and engineering are helping to reduce the carbon intensity of our buildings and roads. As a result, the opportunity for businesses to lead this transition is truly massive. The direction of travel in our global markets is already very clear. But I'll be candid with you, while many businesses have been ambitious about setting climate goals, we have yet to see the necessary follow-through. That's the key. Fewer than 25% of the world's public companies are now on track to achieve their emissions reduction goals. So if we are to avoid the most catastrophic impacts of the climate crisis, we must limit global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees C. And to do that, we have to cut global emissions in half by 2030. The science is clear. We have no more time left to waste. But I have faith that we will get there, and it's in large part because of all of you. We can build a better world through your work. It all starts with the initiatives that you'll be discussing today and that I hope you'll bring back to your organizations. Whether you switch to renewable power at your facilities, use your purchasing power to build a market for sustainable products, network within your sector to share successful strategies, or work with policymakers to advance industry-leading sustainability practices, we need it all. Your influence in the business community matters a lot. All of us here at the Climate Reality Project are very grateful that you have joined this conversation today. My wish is that you will leave this event today with plenty of inspiration and hope. And if you ever lose hope about our ability to solve the climate crisis, just remember that the will to act is itself a renewable resource.
Well, I think Mr. Gore has explained it perfectly. It is clear that climate change and its complex environmental impacts are going to directly affect businesses, societies, and ecosystems. Those businesses that remain on the sidelines will suffer a critical disadvantage compared to those that act now to reduce risk and gain a competitive edge in a warming world. Companies that treat climate change as just a social responsibility issue rather than a business problem will face the harshest consequences. And of course, there is no one-size-fits-all approach to climate change, as each company will need to adapt its strategy to its particular business. And that is what we will be discussing in our series of talks on business fit for 1.5 degrees C.